As promised, today we are going to look at breakfast. So we are going to discuss the importance of eating a balanced breakfast every single day, evaluating your personal breakfast choices, creating a plan to improve your breakfast choices, and selecting healthy food choices per the 3 out of 5 model. And we will talk more about that. We are going to be looking at the What's for Breakfast video. It's going to talk about why eating breakfast is such an important thing for you to do every single day. So obviously we're not going to be able to take a poll because this is a video. How many students ate breakfast this morning? I'm hoping all of you did. And how many did not? So of those of you who ate breakfast, what did you have and why? So some people don't even get to choose their breakfast. Their parents just make it for them. Did your breakfast contain food group extra foods, donut, fruit roll, or did you have a good hearty breakfast like oatmeal or eggs? Did you prepare your breakfast or did your parent prepare your breakfast? Did you eat your breakfast at school? Did you buy something to eat on the way to school? Do you eat the same foods on most days, or do you vary your breakfast foods each day? Those are just some questions to think about.
I totally don't get it. You and I both studied together like crazy for that test, and I knew I was ready. I just couldn't concentrate at all in there. It was like I just forgot all the stuff I thought I knew. And I have the worst headache, too.
Really? I thought I nailed that test. And I think we studied enough, don't you think? Sorry you've got a headache.
Well, that was fun. Not. I thought I was gonna fall asleep halfway through the test. I could barely keep my eyes open. The test wasn't hard or anything, I just had a really hard time concentrating on getting the answers. Weird, if bell hadn't rung, I'm sure I'd still be there, asleep with my face smashed on the desk.
Really? I was talking to Megan, and she says that she thinks she blew it too. But I studied with her, and we quizzed each other a lot. So I know she was as prepared as I was. And I thought I did great. I don't get it.
Belle, let's hope I can actually stay awake in algebra. If you see me slumping over the desk, just pinch me or something, will you?
Sure.
3 different students, all of whom studied hard for this morning's test, but each one had a very different experience. Strange. Maybe we could discover what was going on with Andrew, Megan, and Gabe prior to this morning's test. Come on, let's check it out. Andrew tried to make himself a good breakfast, but he discovered that there was no milk for his cereal, remember? So because he didn't have better options, he ate a toaster pastry filled with a lot of refined sugar and very few nutrients. That gave him a quick burst of energy right after he ate it. But about an hour or two later, right about the time he was taking the test this morning, he got really sleepy. His energy level rose really quickly after eating the pastry, but then fell just as quickly and made him tired. Since Drew's mom leaves for work early, he's usually on his own to make breakfast. So you might want to talk to her about stocking the kitchen up with some better breakfast choices. If Drew had eaten foods from 3 of the 5 food groups, his energy level would have stayed strong and steady all through the morning. He would not have gotten so tired during the test and had to struggle so hard to concentrate. So what kinds of balanced breakfasts could Drew have in the future? He could ask his mom to buy more milk so he could have cereal with milk and some fruit. Another good breakfast would be cheese, melted on toast, and orange juice, or even some leftover spaghetti with meat sauce. Each breakfast has a portion of food from 3 of the 5 food groups and should give him a steady stream of energy all morning. Megan left home this morning without having any breakfast, remember? Megan said she had trouble concentrating on the test and remembering important facts. Bet she didn't know that kids who eat breakfast actually are able to concentrate better, score higher on tests, and remember things better than kids who don't have breakfast. So even though she really did study hard for the test, she didn't have enough morning fuel to keep her brain charged during the test. Now, if Megan had eaten what her mom was offering, she would have had the perfect combinations of food to keep her body and brain energized all morning.
Bagel from the grains and breads group, peanut butter filled with some protein and some healthy fat, fruit, and chocolate milk, a delicious source of calcium.
There's a reason Gabriel knows he nailed that test. Although he studied for the test the same amount of time as Megan, he had an extra edge. He ate a balanced breakfast that helped him concentrate and focus on the test. Remember what he ate?
He had one portion from 3 of the 5 food groups: a waffle, topped with yogurt, and strawberries. That combination of foods gave his body the steady release of energy he needed to get through the entire morning without being hungry and to stay alert and focused on the test. Way to go, Gabe.
All right, all this talk about breakfast is making me hungry. Time for my breakfast favorites.
All right, quick summary of the video. 3 students were taking a test in the morning and experienced the direct physical effects of their breakfast choices. So let's take a look at their choices. Megan skipped breakfast altogether, leaving her with a headache and unable to focus on her test, even though she had studied the night before and felt prepared. Poor Drew didn't have any milk for his cereal, so he had a toaster pastry breakfast, and it gave him a quick surge of energy, but soon after it left him feeling sleepy and unable to concentrate. Gabe, who apparently always makes good choices, his brain and body were both well fueled for school because he ate 1 serving from each of the 3 food groups, the 3 out of the 5 model. So he had a waffle, which is from the grain, bread, and cereals, topped with strawberries, which is from the fruit food group, and yogurt, which is from the milk and the milk products. A healthy breakfast includes foods from 3 out of 5 model. So the combination of foods that provides this balance is called 3 out of 5 model. So choose 1 from the grains, bread, and cereal. Choose 1 from vegetables or fruits, and choose 1 from milk and milk products or meats, beans, and nuts. So skipping breakfast is actually bad for your bones. I think the important takeaway is what the expert summarizes. So doing the 3 out of the 5 model, it gives you steady energy all morning so you don't get hungry. So high sugar breakfasts like Drew provide a quick surge of energy and then a quick drop off. So students who eat better, learn better, and are more attentive and score better on tests. So you can see that the fruit and the grains released first into his body, and then the protein, the milk or the meat, whichever one he chose, helped him stay steady at the top for 2 to 3 hours, and then the fat from the milk or the meat, whichever one he chose, helped him maintain his energy release. So he didn't have these big highs and these big lows. So I'm going to tell you a little personal story. I had a girl in my class quite a while ago. I think she's probably in college now. She would have a meltdown after lunch every single day. And so I took a look at what was in her lunchbox. She had fruit snack, like little gummy things. She had juice, and she had like some kind of dessert always. So she had, and like, did I say juice? She had some really sugary things. So most of her lunch was sugar. So what would happen is she would eat the fruit snacks, she would drink the juice, and then she would have her cookies or whatever. And she would come back in from lunch, and after a little while, she would have a major crash. So I talked to her mom about it, and we decided to let her either keep the fruit roll-up thingies or the or the cookie, because those are both extras. And then instead of drinking juice, we either gave her the option to drink milk or to drink water. And then she had to have some protein to help maintain that. And it made a big difference for her energy level and her attitude in the afternoon. So I think it's really, really important that you understand that if you only eat stuff that's high in sugar, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs instead of up and holding steady when you have mixed food groups. So I want you to evaluate your breakfast from this morning. And if you didn't eat breakfast today, then I would like you to evaluate your breakfast the last time that you ate breakfast. So put your food and drink in and which food group it was. And then we are going to take a look and see what we can improve. So, a balanced breakfast includes one food from each of the 3 groupings below. This is called the 3 out of 5 model. So we're going to evaluate your choices. So group 1 is the grains, breads, and cereals. Group 2 is fruits or vegetables. Group 3 is milk or milk products, and meat, beans, and nuts. So my breakfast included: evaluate whether or not you had a healthy breakfast by checking yes or no for each statement. So foods from all food group categories using the 3 out of 5 model. Did you do the 3 out of 5 model? Yes or no? It's fine if you say no. Foods that were filled with nutrients to give my body a steady stream of energy all morning. Check yes or no. Foods that were not filled with a lot of added sugar or fat. So check yes or no. Did you answer no to any of the statements? How could you change your breakfast tomorrow morning so that your checklist is filled with only yes answers? Tomorrow, I can exercise healthier breakfast options if I eat, and then write down some ways that you might improve your choices for tomorrow. Here is my breakfast record. I usually have oatmeal with some kind of nuts. So my oatmeal is from the grain, bread, and cereal food group, and my nuts are from the protein food group. Do I have a 3 out of 5 model? No, I don't, because I'm missing fruits or vegetables. Are my foods filled with nutrients to give my body a steady stream of energy all morning? Yes, they are. I have a oatmeal that has a lot of protein in it also, so that's helpful. And I have some nuts on my oatmeal, and I just have a little bit. I don't have a lot. So those are 2 really healthy choices. The only thing I'm missing is fruit or vegetables. And I already told you I'm not really wild about fruits and vegetables. I mean, fruits, vegetables I like, but I don't really like to have vegetables for breakfast. So tomorrow morning, a way that I could improve my oatmeal and my nuts is I could have half a banana or part of a banana and eat that either in my oatmeal or in addition to my oatmeal separately. I also like to have yogurt with fruit, and then I usually put a little bit of granola on top of it. So that meal also covers the 3 out of 5 model. So I hope that if you didn't make a good breakfast choice in the beginning, that you understand that the 3 out of the 5 model is the best way to go. I understand that's not always possible, but we can all strive for improvement, especially when we are talking about the most important meal of the day. We are going to play a little game. It's true, false. We are not going to have teams, so you're on your own. You're going to have to just answer in your head or say it out loud. So true or false? Students who eat breakfast feel better, but they tend to be less attentive and more distracted. True or false? The answer is false. So if you eat breakfast, you feel better and you're more attentive and you're less distracted, not more distracted. Number 2. Breakfast gives you the energy you need to get through a morning of learning. True or false? If you eat a 3 out of 5, it is true. Question number 3. A healthy breakfast, according to the 3 out of 5 model, contains foods from each of the following: milk and milk products or grains and breads, vegetables or fruits, and meat, beans, and nuts. False. Grains are one of the groups. Dairy or protein are a second grouping. And then vegetables or fruits. They tried to trick us. Question number 4. The macronutrients that our 3 out of 5 model provide are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. That answer is true. True or false? The following breakfast meets the 3 out of 5 model. Fresh sliced melon, a poppy seed bagel with jam, and a carton of low-fat milk. Yes, it does. It meets the 3 out of 5 model. Question number 6. The following breakfast meets the 3 out of 5 model. Tomato juice, scrambled eggs, and a glass of low-fat milk. That one is false because there are no foods from the grain group. So they needed a piece of toast in there. And last question. A breakfast filled with sugary foods, donuts, fruit, rolls, soda, causes blood sugar and energy levels to rise rapidly and then fall rapidly, causing you to feel hungry. The answer is true. And you remember my story about my student who had a sugar crash every day after lunch until we adjusted her sugar intake. So I want you to be conscientious about what you are choosing for your breakfast. And food for thought. So this is at the bottom of page 10. It says, write your answer to the question below. If you had to choose breakfast at a convenience store or a fast food restaurant, what would you choose to order and why? Did you meet the 3 out of 5 model? Were you conscious of avoiding high sugar breakfast choices? All right, and tomorrow we will be discussing how to stay fit. I hope that you were able to understand why eating breakfast, especially the 3 out of 5 model, is such an important thing to do every single day. Talk to you tomorrow.